All synced up. Let's roll. What's up, Seekers? Happy Tuesday. Aaron here with another conscious thought that might get some flack. This one came to me a little while ago while actually talking with a friend, Mac, who I've talked about on here a few times, and some Aaron Doty stuff that is interesting to me. And these are just some curiosities about the process and going through the actions for utilizing the law of attraction. And there's been a lot of talk on it lately. I'm sure there has been, for eons, but now with the Internet of Things and all of that, like, it's very much become a hot topic to get attention. Because there's a ton more to this than a lot of these online spiritually woke people like to share or possibly are even aware of. So we're going to bring up a couple of those curiosities today and give you a couple tips. That was actually one of them there, about the online gurus out there, quote unquote, again, that like to just boast about all this stuff. Very interesting area, very murky area as of late, especially, because they're from what I've experienced, there's a lot of the, just think it and you'll make it, you'll be fine, whatever. Like, you don't actually need to do anything. But the reality of things is, like, to actually succeed, it takes real time and real effort. Thinking works, it gets you in that mindset. But if you think about being a pop star and you don't work on your singing, it's just not going to happen. If you think about wanting to be, a physical artist, like making art, you're not going to do that just by thinking, I will do this, I'm going to be this, whatever affirmations you want to use, if you're not taking the time to foster and build and grow those skills to be able to do those things. Same with what I've been doing here. I've worked on manifesting these things that I want to be, and by doing that, I'm making the conscious decision and taking active action towards what I want to be and living as that person that I want to be. That's actually the next step. The next tip here is you consciously and actively choose to become the person that has or that does that which you're manifesting. So you can't just sit there and think about all these things. You need to take action. You can think all the wonderful things in the world, but since we're in the third density, nothing's going to happen until you take action. You want to work on these mental struggles that you're having, you need to take action against those things and build the toolbox to be able to work with them. Truthfully, I have issues with that on a somewhat regular basis, and I'm working on finding different things. But one interesting thing about the ego is it is the slyest motherfucker out there. And the more tools you have, the more tools it has to use against you. And it knows what you're trying to do, and it will weasel its way around those to where you are now almost cycled back to step one, square one, whatever you want to call it, and you need to think of something else. You need to work on something else. That's actually a spot where I've been at lately, and I still haven't totally figured out how I'm going to go about it yet, but I'm still working on that, and when I get there will be a video on it, I promise you. So you need to take action, and it's going to take time. There's things that I've worked on manifesting over a year ago that seem to be coming to fruition, like now or very soon. And, in the moment of that back then, it was a lot of, it didn't work, kind of lose faith a little bit. But really, that kind of leads into the next tip is don't cling on to it. Let it go out into the universe while still continuing the process. So work on these manifestations in your mind, in your head, get those feelings, get those emotions, and live in those feelings and emotions as much as you can. Live in those actions as much as you can that this person you're wanting to be does. And then the very last thing I have written down is focus on the journey, not the result. So you live in the moment of those feelings, those emotions, those actions that that person you want to be does. And you just eventually become that person, or you earn those things, and you will be tested like we talked about yesterday. We will be tested by universe on these things to see if you're ready. And it's going to happen all the time. It's going to happen a lot. So by focusing on it, you're more worried about just the neediness of it, right? You're chasing something. Like we say a lot, if you chase something, that implies that it's running from you. It implies you don't already have it. What we're working on realizing now is that all of these things you want are already within you. You just need to access them. So work on getting those emotions and those feelings into your everyday action. And you will just naturally, eventually become that person and work out that past self that you don't want anymore. Like I said, it takes time, it takes very conscious action. So if you want to be a singer, you got to work on that. Use those manifestations, those affirmations, those meditations, anything you want to use. We'll talk some more about this stuff in the coming weeks. But use those to get yourself into the, the headspace to do what you need to do to get there. So you want to be a singer, you got to work on your voice. You got to work, if you want to be a stage presence, you got to work on that. You got to work on having those skills and those abilities. So if you want to be an artist, you need to work on those skills, work on those abilities, get the tools that you need to be able to create the art you want to create. Painting, drawing, digital art, whatever it may be. If you want to, run your own business, if you want to do your own thing to where you can just do whatever you want whenever you want, which, some of these things just happen anyways, right? When you become good at something, you just do it. Then you take active steps to do that. Whatever you want to do, whomever you want to be, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to have, you got to work towards it. You have to earn it, right? It doesn't just all come to you on a silver platter. And if it does, it's not worth as much to you. When you work to earn something and you get the result out of it, it's going to have a lasting effect, and it's going to change you. It's going to grow you. So, that's really it. That's all I got right now on some law of attraction things. I don't want to go too much into it because there's a lot involved with it. But yeah, just, I'm not going to say don't believe everything you see, hear, read, but dig into it a little bit and see how it vibes with you. See how you feel about it. Some of these creators out there are putting information out there. It's all this happy-go-lucky. If you just think it, you're going to become it. Everything's going to be great. Well, yeah, you might feel better in your head for a little while, but then if there's like major life change that you want to do, you have to do something to achieve that. You can't become the next superhero sitting on your ass. You can't become the next Elon Musk, sleeping all day or grinding away at a 9 to 5 that fucks with your head. Being a slave. Don't be a slave. Definitely don't be a slave to money. Because that's just an idea. That's just a thought. That is something that we've created for certain things. And it's definitely not what it used to be. And it's not used the way it was used to be used anyhow. So that's it for Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Love ya.